What is his Osu guide? My guide to Osu with contents page. PDF format for clarity. What the fuck? Coralac's guide to improving on Osu. Date of writing, August 7, 2016. Do not message me stupid questions in game relating to this guide. I'm happy to answer your questions, but if they've been discussing this guide, you won't get an answer any different from what I've written here. This guide is aimed at people who are willing to work extremely hard, doing warm-up exercises over an hour before actually playing anything for high PPs or high scores. We're talking sweaty butts, sweaty fingers, and burning forearms and fingers. Keep in mind the points mentioned in this guide are my recommendations. This is how I played, and you may not have the same preference / and motivation wise. Use this guide to give you an idea of what it can achieve. Introduction. In building on the basics, practicing higher difficulties, pre-warm-ups, learning hard rock, improving streams, improving single tap speed, conclusions, and general tips on integrating your practice into plays. Chat, this looks pretty good, dude. How have I not seen this before? Wait a second, man. Where is learning hidden? No one cares about hidden. How many pages is this? Yo! 13 pages! I've been messaged many times over the course of my playing asking how did I improve so fast, or I've been in question about my legitimacy. So I decided to make a guide that will cover what I've done to improve. This saves me from having to message everyone individually with paragraphs after paragraphs. The guide will cover my experiences as a 6-digit player all the way to 3 digits. Firstly, introducing the basics of improving with general explanations. Later in the guide will be more specific methods to improving, beat maps to play, and practicing routines, which I find helpful and effective to improving faster. There's really no way to get better other than to practice. The problem is people just say, just play more, which doesn't distinguish between good practice and bad practice. Consistency, routines, and strategies increase the efficiency of a practice session. I absolutely hate it when I ask for advice and someone replies with play more. Play more what? I'm sure if you experienced this before and ended up without an answer in the end. That's why I have decided to make something which will both explain what I did and help others improve in the process. Building on the basics. Step 1 in the journey for me was simply playing the game to get used to it. I didn't play any mods until around 4.5k PP. At this point, I was making plays around 200 PP or a little more. Same! I didn't even know what PP was until I set like my first 200 PP play. My friend, you guys may know him as Score Farmer, Momo HD basically, right? He was like, yo, dude, you should try this map. And he linked me, I think it was Koigo Koro. And I think that was my first 200 PP play. And he was like, holy shit, dude, you set that in like 2 tries. Try this one. And he sent me Die Genome. And now I have seen that in 1 try with DT. And he was like, oh my god, dude. But anyways, depending on your current level, this might be low or really high. My advice to getting this is, I'm making 200 PP plays and no mod is starting to get a bit starting to be tricky to get more PP, is to play based on star rating difficulty. When I first knew PP existed and there was a ranking system, I was at 999 PP. I had no idea what the number meant and always played with no fill on, not knowing that this reduces PP by 10%. That's been removed. That's no longer the case. No fill does not affect PP. But it does affect your score. But try to get 1,000 PP thinking something would happen. Not knowing the system, I just played songs and eventually it went to 1,000 PP. What? You're telling me this guy has a 1K? Where's his top plays? Am I dumb? Best performance, honesty by guys. Huh? Honesty means 1,000 total. 1,000 total? Oh, I'm dumb. Anyways, what I'm getting at is I started playing songs around 2 to 3 stars and PP didn't matter. I simply used the star difficulty to determine my progress up until around 5.2 stars without being overly concerned about how much PP a song gave. I recommend aiming for FCs at your comfortable star difficulty. You will find that over time, as you play at the star difficulty you're comfortable with and able to play consistently, your average star difficulty plays will slowly rise. I recommend ignoring the 6-star plus songs if you cannot at least play 4-star maps. My reasoning for this is because I feel it's not productive practice. Of course, play these songs for fun, which is fine, but don't try playing them seriously expecting anything big. So, currently, rank-wise, we are looking at around being a 6-digit player between 100k to 300k. You don't need a tablet or a mechanical keyboard to play through these ranks. All that you should focus on is accuracy at this point. If you can get good accuracy when you start, you can build good habits, which will pay off massively down the road. 98% plus accuracy is a great starting point. Don't focus on trying to SS everything here. It's irrelevant. Low star rating songs have a lower overall difficulty and approach rate, which are very different to higher difficulties. I agree. I'm not going to discuss methods of improving in the early stages because that's simply a matter of understanding the game mechanics and how to play properly. Therefore, I'll skip a few steps to where you want to learn how to get faster at tapping, streaming, improving your reading, jumps, and overall control. So hopefully you've gotten here as a player who's keen interest in rapid performance. I have both a tablet and a mechanical keyboard. These are both key tools that help me improve. It is by no means the only tools to use when practicing the following strategies, but they're very helpful for the exercises discussed in this guide. Practicing higher difficulties, AR9. Also, chat, I know we were going to talk about the OC keycaps, but now I'm too invested. I have to see this through. AR9, where most songs are played no mod. I do not recommend playing AR10 unless you are comfortable with AR9. This is because most no mod songs on their highest difficulty use AR9. When was this written? This guy peaked in 2017, right? Damn. 2017 was just a different era. Holy shit. This is great. I was going to read it, but BTMC is doing it for me. What's up, Kiwick? How's it going, man? Don't neglect it thinking, oh, but I can play AR10. Consistency is huge in this game. There are so many aspects to master, and knowing them all will make a much stronger and well-balanced player. If you can't read AR9, there's no secret to this. You either aren't at a level to play songs that introduce AR9, or haven't familiarized yourself with this. Start playing those 4 to 5 star maps that use AR9. OD8 and higher. At a lower level, you'll get used to playing OD7. Once you play OD8, you will definitely notice the change in timing required to prevent any 100s or 50s. It's very difficult for me to implement any strategies to improve timing. Basically, all your skills playing Nomad should be consolidated by practicing. A general tip is to put a little more focus onto the song through listening rather than reading. If you're comfortable with AR9 at this point, you should try to play to the beat of the song instead of the approach circle. As a drummer, learning consistency in timing is essential. This allowed for timing to be innate for me before I started playing Osu. This is something that is built over time without shortcuts. Never use autopilot for practicing timing. It causes bad coordination because normally you play with the cursor in mind. If you disregard cursor coordination, you are setting yourself up for bad habits. Agreed. Improving aim and jumps. Once again, this is something that cannot be taught. All I can recommend is using a tablet area that you're comfortable with and familiarizing yourself with it as much as possible. If you find that you're missing notes due to imbalance between the timing of your tap and your cursor movement, try to keep your eyes on the note until the very last moment where you have hit it. Yes, that's correct. I'm trying to like figure out if this is actually what I do, because there's a lot of stuff that I do, but I don't consciously understand how I do it. But now that I think about it, there are many times in which I'm like over aiming, under aiming, etc. Right? And so in those cases where I do have that problem and it's a consistent problem, oftentimes I fix it by consciously looking at the note that I constantly miss at and only moving my eyes or like darting my eyes away from it after either like once I'm 100% positive that my cursor is on the object, or ideally after I've hit it. Usually this is too hard. Usually there's not enough time for me to confirm that I hit the object and then move my eyes to the next object. So usually it's slightly earlier, but that is accurate. This may feel weird if you haven't done this before, making your eyes strain a bit more, but over time this will break the habit of leaving the note too early with your cursor, and eventually your coordination between your tap and movement will become natural to the point where you don't need to actively think about eyeing down notes. Best map for aim practice, in my opinion, is the square jump maps. Yo, this got loved? No way. Pre-warmups. Before practicing anything, always play a pre-warmup set list. This is to stimulate all aspects of the game, such as streams, aim, and reading. I never start my OSU sessions unless I pass all my pre-warmup songs, exceptions for really hard songs that I cannot pass regardless of if I'm playing well or not. Try not to add these into your pre-warmup collections unless you feel the song is really helpful for warming you up. My first pre-warm collection I made. Stream practice maps 150 BPM. This was warm my fingers up for standard play. Square jump practice maps 180 BPM. Play either AR9 or AR10, depending on which one you can do. This would warm up my aim and reading. Made Chan-yori Roll Pans Extra. This would combine warm-ups done previously into a song that is slightly harder, faster, and more demanding. Second pre-warm-up collection. Stream Practice, Degeneration, Denpa Shoujo to Kuso Tien, In the Garden, Konchu Oniki Test, and of course Square Jump Practice Maps. I finished with Denpa Shoujo to Kuso Tien, as it's the hardest song in my collection, combining everything that I just did. And yes, I have 6 pre-warm-up songs now. Don't limit it to 3 maps. Make sure to include all aspects of the game. The more practice, the better. Your set list does not have to be these songs, but I highly recommend the long stream map. The low BPM followed by a slightly higher BPM song that requires aim and reading, followed by a final boss song. After this, you're free to practice what you want to improve as you start without feeling like you're not ready. Learning hard cock. AR10, not a pleasant experience for me, considering I didn't start AR10 properly until I was playing with mods. 4.5k PP. I was terrible. Same. You are here to learn hard rock, not hidden. Play without hidden when learning hard rock. True! Thank you! Spit that! I have no idea how to approach it, but someone helped me out in game, teaching me a strategy. Make a hard rock collection and add a variety of songs that you've FC'd in the past. Make sure they are AR10. You only get 3 chances to play the song. If you fail 3 times, move on to the next song and play it. Rinse and repeat. However, if you pass the song within 3 attempts, mark that song into a new collection. For example, Hard Rock Passed. Add that song into that list and come back to it another time. Keep playing the songs in your hard rock collection, trying to pass as many as you can within the 3-strike limit. Note, do not go back to playing the same song another 3 times unless a few hours have passed. After you have passed the song in your Hard Rock Pass a total of 3 times, move it into a new collection called Hard Rock Consistent. Again, come back to these songs, but only give yourself 1 chance to pass. If you don't pass, knock it back down to the Hard Rock Passed collection. Your aim for the Hard Rock Consistent collection is to aim for an FC. If you manage to FC it, add it to the Hard Rock FC collection. Give yourself 1 chance for a 99+% FC on the song. At this point, if you miss, don't worry about knocking it back down a collection. Simply play another song and come back to the song you're trying to FC later. Over time, you'll be able to visually see your results. Look back on your history of plays and your local scores, and look for the increasing performance that will appear for that song. That's fair. I did it a slightly different way. The way that I did it was I was trying to say, okay, what is hard rock? Hard rock usually makes a song with small circle sizes, usually around CS 5.2, AR10, okay, and then OD10, right? So let me practice each one of those individually, all right? So I played a bunch of CS5 maps at like AR9 in a lower OD. I played a bunch of like OD10 maps with like a lower approach rate and a lower circle size. And I played a bunch of you get it, right? And then I tried playing hard rock after doing that, and I still sucked ass. So then I was like, fuck it, this is dumbass shit. I'm just going to play hard rock, nothing but hard rock for 2 weeks straight. Every single time I played the map, it would have hard rock on. No exceptions. And after 2 weeks, I was fine. That was it. That's what I did. That's how I learned hard rock. I just said fuck it. Slapped it on. So anyways. OD10. You have 19.5 milliseconds before and after the note to get a 300 on your hit. Timing for hard rock is built upon the timing you built before you played mods. This is why it's important to consolidate your timing as you go on. Good timing means good accuracy, and when you stick to playing hard rock, high accuracy is desired. As mentioned earlier, focus on listening when first learning hard rock. You need to keep in mind the approach rate when timing it correctly. Stick to it, and you'll see some great unstable rates in accuracy. This, I feel like, is a bunch of nothing burger. This is a bunch of words with nothing that'll actually help you. Which, honestly, I don't even know how I get good accuracy when I play higher ODs. It's so weird. But anyways, I did the above starting on songs around 5 stars after applying hard rock, trying desperately to be able to do it. I did this for about 2 weeks straight with about 80% of my playtime dedicated to it. Over time, I started to familiarize myself with it, and it led to getting better at playing hard rock. Consistency is key. True. Improving streams. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see it. Streams are possibly one of the hardest things to improve quickly. Due to the nature of physical training, you will not be able to improve this within a few days or weeks. It is a slow climb experience, which will build if you're consistent. Once again, for streams, I'll provide with a guide, which can be seen in the stream map list box at Nayari's. Huh? Stream map list. What the... Holy fuck, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, which I've built on and changed as I improved. The guy helped me a lot, but I added methods to the stream maps recommended on Nayari's profile. As with the hard rock section, I made a stream collection where I threw in all the maps that Nayari recommended. These maps range from 120 to 270 BPM. For streams, a mechanical keyboard will be a huge benefit. The technique I use now is not possible on laptop keys. I played on a laptop before I got a mechanical keyboard. That's fucking dope. And therefore, if you play with laptop keys or membrane keys, I cannot promise anything, but the strategy may still help. Out of the stream maps provided by Nayari's guide, there are a few that stand out or the ones that I have added. Starts from 168, gradually increases. Must play maps. Great Nano Desu Insane. This calling. Okay, that's a great practice map. That's probably the one map by winner. If you have noticed, the maps I place emphasis on contain certain BPM levels. The most important thing about learning streams is managing to hit each note the same. You're not here to stream 10 notes and then lose control of your finger movement. If you want serious streaming capabilities, you hold that BPM for minutes on end. And yes, this will hurt like hell to start with. Note, if you feel irregular pains in your arms, wrists, or fingers, refrain from doing any more exercises. You don't want to risk RSI. As a drummer, I've experienced my fair share of it in the past. If you have a burning feeling in your arms or fingers, then you keep clicking those keys. That's what you want. Burning pain. That will increase your stamina eventually. Like I said earlier, this is one of those areas that can't be improved unless you push yourself beyond the limit. Here's how I increase my speed. Starting from, I am terrible at streaming. Play the long stream practice maps at 150 BPM. Your objective is to FC the song. Accuracy isn't important at first, but if you manage to get 97 or 100% on the play, you can move up to the next speed. The duration of these songs are anywhere from 2 minutes to 4 minutes, so you're expected to hold these for insane lengths of time. This is why you start at low BPM. I'm sure you played a high BPM song before, only to find that your fingers lock up or don't move properly. This can be combated with the wooden keyboard, or playing these maps at low BPM. Work on fluid movement when you alternate between each finger. You will lock up eventually, unless you have a wooding, and your fingers will spasm, losing that sweet balance your fingers had on the first 10 notes. So true. As soon as you finish the song or fail it, immediately restart and play it again. Don't break. You want to aim for 5 playthroughs back to back. That's actually true. Sometimes when I get locked in, I'll literally just I don't even say anything. I don't even give myself a break. I shake it out and then I go in. Now you earned your break. Break for 5 minutes and come back and play through it 5 times again. Repeat this process for a total of 3 times or as long as you want, depending on how much time you have and how you feel. Make sure you stop if you feel irregular pain, though. This does not mean that during this time you cannot change the BPM. For example, if you manage to FC the 150 BPM song by your second playthrough after the first break, 7th playthrough overall, move on to the 160 BPM song. Now you'll feel that struggle again. Fun, isn't it? If you do this every day, you'll once again be able to look at your local scores and note that your accuracy increases with time. If you're struggling with an increased BPM after a while, feel free to step down to a lower BPM or stop practicing streams for the day. As stated earlier, try to FC with good accuracy before you move on. We're trying to build speed and control. You will find that if you're able to hold 160 BPM for 2 minutes, you'll be able to then play short 170 or 180 BPM bursts much cleaner. This goes for all speeds as you improve. Consolidating low BPM is really important. It allows for higher BPM short burst control. Every now and then, go test your progress on Osu Deathstream Compilation Marathon. If you get further and further, you're improving. This map is so wholesome. Wait, this isn't the right one. Okay, never mind. Maybe this one's different. This goes up to 270. Never mind. Also listed songs that are extremely difficult and not expected to be played if you cannot stream well. I'm also still trying to play these well. They are here for the future you to play. I can only give you tips to where I've gotten to and what I did to get there. To give you an idea of how long this will take to increase, I started playing long stream practice maps at 150 BPM in March 2016 and get halfway on the long stream practice maps to 200 BPM map before completely losing stamina and control of my movement in August 2016. Note, it is not advised to try and play anything fast after completing this routine. Your fingers will be quite drained even after regaining stamina and won't move correctly. Play slowly after this to prevent fatigue play. However, after doing this, there has been one time where I had infinite stamina trying to FC the 160 BPM map, only to find that after a while, I could go to 180 BPM and play endlessly when in the start of the session, I couldn't even pass it. If this happens to you, take advantage of it. It's rare, and I've only experienced it once. That's called... I know this feeling. It's weird, but like... this whole like infinite stamina phenomenon is like very important because I've noticed when it happens to me, it's usually when I have this sort of like recursive like tapping technique where like I'm like expending stamina and then able to regain stamina and then expend it and then regain and expend it and stuff. It's kind of weird. I've been trying to crack that at higher BPMs. But at higher BPMs, my technique like slightly shifts. So like, I don't know. It's hard. It gets to a certain point where like, I can stream like infinitely at a certain BPM. But the moment it goes above a certain BPM, it's like I can only drain my stamina. And I can't recover it unless there's like a break with like a reverse arrow slider or buzz slider or something like that. It's tough. But anyways. Learning double time. We skipped this. No, I'm just kidding. I am a relatively slow player when it comes to speed, so learning double time was challenging. When I started playing DT, anything above 200 BPM was fast for me. Playing DT is the best way to become faster. Almost everything you play will be a high BPM and high approach rate, forcing you to keep up. Playing double time opens the potential to single tap practice, which I will discuss in the next section. To start with, find AR8 songs that are low BPM when DT is selected. Don't play anything over 220 BPM with DT in the beginning. Consistency is key to getting faster. If you've improved your stream endurance and speed through the practice mentioned earlier, you can apply these to the low BPM DT plays, making them doable. Remember, if you've done 180 BPM for 3 minutes straight, you can do 200 BPM or more as a burst. DT is typically burst streams, not endurance. So if you want to start playing DT, here's some songs I recommend. Bunch of beginning maps. Yeah. It is clear that lower approach rate songs have higher BPM and should be practiced first. Also, keep in mind these songs are not 100 PP plays when FC, they're 200 plus. This goes to show how much you should practice the basics before attempting mods. You're not going to improve quickly playing double time if you don't try to play AR8 and AR9 songs. These songs usually are harder because as AR goes up, OD generally does too. Learning DT is not easy. Started with hard rock before playing double time. This was so that when I played AR8 DT songs, the approach rate would be 9.67, which is less than the hard rock at AR10. This makes playing DT less demanding as you are not required to tackle both a new approach rate speed and BPM speed. There's no strategy that I use for learning DT. The hard parts have been learned already. If you've delved into learning hard rock, starting DT is easy. Why? Because you can already play AR10, and I've been doing stream practice to give you the endurance required for higher BPM songs. Each aspect of training complements another, so it's important to learn to do everything. If you can comfortably play DT at 220 BPM, I recommend improving it through the single tap practice I use. Now this, I don't exactly agree with that. Because I'm a hard rock player. I'd like to think that my stamina's pretty good. But DT is an entirely different beast. Okay? I'd like to think that, like, the biggest difficulty is strict. Well, okay. Under this context, they specifically mention things at AR8 and AR9. Okay? I disagree strictly when it gets to AR9. Okay, or it's more specifically when it gets above AR10, because when you're a hard rock player who is consistent with like high BPM streams, you kind of get into this like you have this like level of finger control based off of the amount of time that you have to prepare for a burst, right? And at higher approach rates, you just have less time to prepare for a burst to play it with the proper technique. And so what I found was that my biggest issue was that when I'm playing faster and faster approach rate maps, because I have less time to react or prepare to play a pattern properly, I have worse form going into a pattern, resulting in less speed, less stamina, etc. And then as soon as I lower the approach rate, because I'm able to prepare ahead of time, all of a sudden those maps are significantly easier. I think, at least for me, all right, I'm not sure how this applies to everyone else. Maybe you guys can chime in. But approach rate is the biggest killer here, okay? Like, your ability to read at a higher approach rate matters a ton. And that, like, you can have everything built up through, like, you know, the stamina and, like, the aim and the reaction speed at AR10, but the moment you start jumping up into faster approach rates, it's an entirely different world. So yeah. I think if you're pushing DT/speed, it's more important to push higher BPM and shorter bursts than just learning high mid BPM stamina. Especially if this guy is telling you to play long stream maps for 4 hours and you need to learn finger control. True. Anyways, chat, where are we at right now? How are you guys feeling right now? Are you guys bored of this? Because I'm fucking wired, bro. I'm juiced, dude. Like, I feel like when it comes to, like, this sort of knowledge, it's so hard to get players to actually, like, articulate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, top players have this knowledge, but it's stuck in their brain, okay? They don't know how to describe the things that they do because they just figure it out themselves. But to translate that into the English language is so difficult. But anyways, chat, keep in mind, this is from a player who was top 100 in July 2017. Literally, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 9, 8, 7. That was 7 years ago? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 7 years ago. How can you not mental math that? Listen, dude, I'm a streamer, okay? I never went to college, okay? I grew up with teachers that would say, you know, you're not going to have a calculator with you every day, so that's why you got to learn it. I bet those teachers aren't saying that anymore. Mr. Williams, get fucked. They actually do? What? Actually, no, Mr. Williams was the GOAT. We would have these, like, tiny little calculators in the class, each assigned to, like, a seat, or, like, each student is assigned to a specific numbered calculator, and every time we go use the calculator, we would give it a name. And so in my class, the calculator's name was Mommy. Ask Mommy what's 5 times 10 divided by 86. Fuck yeah. Listen, this was middle school, okay? Anyways. Improving single tap speed. Thanks to Doomy, is it Doomy or Dummy? I don't even know. Thanks to this Australian boy, I was motivated to increase my single tap speed for those insane 250 BPM songs that seem almost impossible to hold stamina on. In fact, I only started this practice from mid-July to now. I don't recommend this kind of practice until you're capable of playing DT on songs around 220 BPM. This single tap practice is dedicated to high BPM songs that are close to impossible to stream for long periods. My only advice for this section is to use these maps as a way of building single tap speeds along with quick triples and burst streams. This is the most physically involved practice that makes you really work as you use more of your arm. These maps should not be played with Hidden, as you're not here to practice reading. I thought Hidden was basically freelo. What the heck? This is solely high-speed endurance training. All songs are AR8. Maps used in order without practice. 130 BPM, single taps only. So it's a 130 BPM stream map, which you would be single tapping, which is effectively 260. Then 152 BPM, and then 128, probably streams. So that would be 256. Blah, 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 blah. Cycle through these 5 songs a few times until you're satisfied with your performance. Extras for when you have built some speed, ordered by difficulty. Okay. This is as much as I can offer for this section, as it's highly demanding. I'm still working on my own speed with these songs. I respect that. You know a person is knowledgeable when they admit where their knowledge starts to run out. A person who knows what they're talking about, a telltale sign that a person knows what they're talking about is when they understand just all the shit that they don't know about. All right? That is wisdom. What is this?
But I bet you guys couldn't do 5 times 1,000 without pulling out a calculator.
5,000.
You had the calculator ready, didn't you?
5,000. It's 5,000.
Yeah, but you had the calculator ready, I bet.
No, I don't. I did that in my head.
Whenever you start using bigger numbers, that's when you have to pull a
You
calculator
don't need
out.
a calculator for everything.
So say 5 times 20,000. Everyone I know would need a calculator. For that.
100,000.
You have a calculator.
How did I do it in 2 seconds then?
You're not
it takes at least 5 seconds to type with the calculator.
You're not impressing my stream. Everyone knows you're using a calc. Calc is calculator for short, chat. So what? Okay,
What?
5. So you're saying 5 times 50,000? Yeah, you would have to use a calculator. What do you guys not understand?
Chat, this has to be fake, right? They're specifically using songs that are like, or songs. God, fuck, dude. I'm so Osu-pilled. They're using numbers that are in multiples of 10. Everyone knows this, like, the shortcuts for that. But if you ask me, like, what's 82 times 643,926.8? I don't know. I don't know that shit, dude. I don't know that shit. Also, I was the kid in middle school that would be really anal about using the word and. So, like, instead of, like, this is, 211,324. But other people would say 211,324 or something like that. But like the and implies that there's like a decimal, right? But anyways, I was like anal. I was anal about that. By the way, calc was short for calculator. Incredible. I had no idea. Insane. And does not imply that? Yeah, it does. You don't say and for decimals? Okay. Obviously, the most common phrase is to use point or dot or whatever, right? But like, in like casual slang, usually when you say and in the middle of a number, that's like a decimal. But you're not supposed to say and ever. Yes, you shouldn't say and, but typically... Okay, never mind. Ooh, conclusions and general tips on integrating your practice into plays. If you have no mod songs, try and knock the score down with an improved modded play using hidden or DT. Eventually, you may not be satisfied with DT or hard rock plays and want some more PP out of the play. Hidden mod gives a great 8% bonus PP, which is always going to be beneficial for those PP hungry players. Personally, I never learned Hidden, Giga Chad, on its own. Hidden is a mod which is self-explanatory and simply requires you to get comfortable with the type of reading required for it. Add it to your favorite songs that you're familiar with. If you need a starting point, I always use Hidden in addition to Double Time or Hard Rock because to reach the top, the bonus PP is needed. If you're having trouble and you're unsure why, maybe consider changing your skin. My skin plays an integral part to my timing and reading. I was having trouble playing some DT Hidden songs, and I changed skin. I instantly FC'd the songs I had trouble with and haven't changed skins since. Sometimes problems are not always physical. Sound and vision also play a massive part in the game. Don't neglect them. When I was working on consistency, I didn't go for massive PP plays. I tried to make plays about 80% of my highest PP score. However, this will change eventually where that isn't enough to get the ranks that you desire, potentially slowing down PP progress. Don't get irritated. You're still improving regardless of what your rank says. Some people say, oh, DT is just PP farm. These are the hard rock or no mod players. I'm being called out. I'm being called out. Listen, man, if you want to fight, just at me, bro. Come on. Other players say hard rock is easiest PP ever. Who are you talking to? That is bullshit. What? Oh, these are the double time players. Okay, I've never heard a single double time player actually say that. What the fuck? From my viewpoint, both DT and hard rock are important and really helpful as they do improve your overall skill. My no mod is much better because of learning to play with mods. Before I played with mods, I always thought to myself, I don't want to play mods because I'm good at no mod. That perspective has changed. Now I always consider my weakest skill and play it until I'm satisfied with my performance at it. Never let one aspect of your performance drop. Keep them level safe and balanced increase in skill level. Also, I never try and play something I know I can't. It's not good practice. For example, take a game where you have when you need a certain level or gear to complete something. Without those levels or gear required, you probably aren't going to progress much, if at all. This is the same with Osu. Without the skill required to complete/FC a song, you won't be able to. Play a bit of everything every day, but play to your strongest one that day when trying for big FCs. Also, recommend using collections religiously. Make a bunch of different categories like so. AFC progress 39 maps, attempt cursor practice, DT FCs, do me, favorites, HDHR FCs. HDHR progress, HR FCs, HR progress, no mod smooth practice, pre-play warm-up, reverse practice, single tap practice, stream god mode warm-up, streams, top 50 global, unranked practice warm-up. Let's compare them to my collections. G, Easy DT, Shred, NPC farming. I'll come back to it. DT warm-up, Chompy, Kano, 900 plus, Alternation, BTMC Suffer, DT, Food, the best collection. If you know, you know. Fuck! Game Osu group stage, but it's only 2 maps. GGA challenges 1 through 5. I love anime. I do love anime. I'm pogging out of my chair. Mapping. My eyes. Rectagon's destruction. Roundtable research. RSI. Shit! Sour please. Spaced stream. Test. The brain. Throwback collection. Vaxay's destruction. Warm up. White Cat's destruction. Wide angles. Wide boys. And yep, content. I'm so cooked, bro. These are all terrible. I think it's important to track what you're successfully progressing on and keeping structure in your training. If you have found a variety of songs that you're good at and want to try to go for the FC, check it into a collection and have it there, ready to play at any time after your warm-up. Also, making an FC folder is always nice to look back on when you're playing terribly. If it's not working out, play something else. These will be days that you don't play well at all, and some days where you don't play well in certain aspects. Shift through the 4 categories I have written about. Stream practice, hard rock, double time, or single tap practice. If you can't single tap because you can't keep up, play hard rock. If you can't aim or get high accuracy at high OD, play some lower BPM DT, considering you aren't feeling in top condition for high BPM single tap. If you can't do either hard rock or DT, just work on your streams. If you can't play any of them, just don't play. Or go mess around on multiplayer. Not playing is sometimes vital, as breaks help you improve too. I've had experiences where I stopped playing for 3 to 4 days and come back feeling better than I did before. Breaks are necessary to give your brain a chance to process what you've recently learned. Each aspect of play that you work on might take you about a week to be noticeable. Once you feel that little edge, play something you might FC for an additional or get additional PP on, i.e. through improved accuracy / combo, and it usually comes. And that's it! You're well on your way to becoming an Osu Rhythm champion. I hope my guide has motivated you to improve yourself or simply helped you overcome certain hurdles. Not gonna lie, this guide's pretty good. Even though a lot of the maps are way too easy to apply for me, because I'm pretty sure I can play all of this already. Maybe not like the 4 dimensions difficulty, specifically like if it's a long stream practice map, but we're working on like 250, you know what I'm saying? But I do think the routine, the system, the mindset, and the foundation in this article is accurate. I feel like this could be a good ass video. I tried an Osu routine. No, this Osu routine this Osu routine unwashed me, assuming that it actually unwashes me. I feel like adding some system into my play sessions may actually help out. Osu routine? Sounds familiar. Don't tell me someone's already done that. Never mind. I'm not surprised. Check DM. I sent a vid with Coralac in it.
Just the 100 in the beginning by the looks of things. That accuracy is going to be going for 99.9 unless
Coralac shakes once again.
But we're going to get into the first stream section. This is where misses start to occur. Coralac is looking shaky. Oh, it is already happening.
So shaky.
What is going on with this cursor?
Yeah, the slider ends.
Yeah!
What?
What is he doing?
Oh, you hate to see it, boys.
Oh my god.
The worst part is this is Coralac's pick as well, but just look at that cursor.
I cannot believe it. It's so shaky still.
Isn't it highly ironic that he has no guide in here for nerves? He talks about everything but nerves. Oh god. Now we know. Oh my god! Now we know why he's creating those improved pen grips. Oh! Oh! It's all full circle. Chat, that's kind of genius. That's kind of genius, dude. Bro invented the solution to his own problem. That's kind of dope. That's pretty dope. That's dope. That's dope.